Okay, hi, this is Paul. This is probably the second video in the series about respect. Many lessons that I'm making on the Bible and respect, God and respect. We started with Acts 10, where it discussed that God is no respecter of people. 10:34, Acts 10:34. So this video is dealing with, or if you were to, if I imagine if someone would come up and say, "Oh yeah, what about he has preference for people, these Israelites, and not the Gentiles?" Okay, so this is going to start it. I mean, it is not going to answer every question, but hopefully it will clarify quite a bit and get you started at getting the answer to it. So this video is called God's Chosen People, God's Chosen question mark. That is just for you to answer the question upon your reading and your investigations. Okay, so I'm going to start here with Amos 3:2. Amos 3:2. So, Amos 3:2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Now, that struck upon me one time because there was this website that was the nation, or the Israelites, right? There's two camps, I would say two camps, maybe three camps of the Israelites. One of them believes that only Israelites, the black Hebrews in America, will be saved and no Gentiles. Or if the Gentiles are saved, they have to bless them and they have to serve them in the next, in heaven. And then there's another camp of Israelites that believe there is a spiritual Israel, and that Gentiles will also be saved. So, when I first heard this, it saddened me to hear that because they were so convincing in knowing, no, this is not Gentiles. Who are they talking about? You only have I known of all the families of the earth. And they would kind of just emphasize that, but then they would not read the rest of the text, which says, therefore, I'll circle that right there, I will punish you for all your iniquities. What are iniquities? Well, the word, notice here, punish is bisit pan, or handle. Think of it, handle. And iniquities is those sins of the heart that you're thinking about, but have not acted upon yet. But you would like to, maybe. And then you haven't done it. So that's what God's talking about here. But anyways, this is Amos 3:2. Let's go from here. Let's go to Exodus 19:5 and 6. Exodus 19:5 and 6. Exodus 19:5 and 6. Okay, I just want to position it here. Okay, now, therefore, there's if. Notice that if and therefore, this is important in the Bible. If. Now, this one here, since I think it's God talking here, so I'm going to use red here. I typically like to use red if it's God. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice. Okay, so it's a condition. So, if you will obey my voice, and, it's a formula here, you have to obey the voice. Oh man, I wish I had something here so I could. And keep my covenant, or his rules, or his agreement, and keep my covenant, like his commandments, then ye should be a peculiar. Now, in modern world, that word is not used quite a bit. Think of it as special. Sometimes they can use the word like peculiar. Well, he's kind of strange, or, that's not a common thing, but peculiar treasure. So what it means is like a special. For all the earth is mine. So what's the formula here if you want to be God's special people? Obey his voice and keep his covenant. Okay? That's Exodus 19:5. Let's see what I have here. And 6. And, okay, another and. Ye should be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Okay. So from here, so we know there's an if and then. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 4:32. Deuteronomy 4:32. I'm thinking there's a guitar next to me and I can hear the echo from it. So if you hear that, 4:32. That's where that sound is probably echoing. 4:32. So Deuteronomy 4:32. 4:32. Right here. For ask now the days that are past which before thee, since the day of God created man upon the earth. Ask from the. Do I have the right one? 4:32:37. Yep. For ask now the days that are past which were before thee, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there had been any such thing as this great thing, or had been heard like this. Did ever people hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of the fire, as thou hast heard? So basically, he's setting this up. Why have you known? Because never before did ever people hear the voice. So from the beginning, right? Or had God essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation, by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? So he says it's a special thing that he did for you. So there's special expectations. So they knew God. That's why he was saying he never knew anybody before that until thee. It was showed that thou mightest know that the Lord he is God, and there is none else beside him. So they should know better, basically. That's what that means. It's not like, oh, I only know you. I don't know Johnny. You're my only favorite. That's a people ego thing. Right? But if you look at the Bible, it's just telling you what was going on. So 36, out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, and that he might instruct thee, and upon earth he showed thee great fire, and thou heardest his words out of the midst of fire. And because he loved thy fathers. Okay, here's giving you the reason. Right? So a lot of times you'll find out in the Bible that the Israelites were not right, but God will say, hey, I made an agreement, and because he loved thy fathers, therefore he chose the seed after them, and brought thee out of in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt. All right, so that was Exodus. What was this? Deuteronomy 4:32-37. Now let's go to Exodus 3:24. Exodus 3:24. Okay, here we are. And it came to pass by the way in the end. Oh, I'm on 5. I'm on 4. I'm sorry. 3:24. It's over here. Oh, maybe I got it wrong. 3:24 and 25. Exodus 3:24. Maybe I wrote that one wrong. Oh no. So this one here, 3:24-25. Maybe I have this one here wrong. Okay, I made a mistake on that one. Let's go to Exodus. Let's go to Genesis 26:2-5. Genesis 26:2-5. So Genesis 26:2 and 5. So if we look here at Genesis 26:2 and 5. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which should tell thee of. Sojourn, I mean, that means kind of like you're going to be a stranger in there, in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham, thy father. Okay? Now, one thing you're going to see over and over if you read on, in thy seed should all the nations of the earth be blessed. So look at that. In thy seed, so all the nations of the earth be blessed. Just one nation? All. So right from the very beginning in the first chapter, God is looking to bless all the nations of the earth. And that was a special relationship because something Abraham did. That's an extensive study in that in itself right there. But he had made this promise to Abraham, right? And it's clearly here, it says, because he's giving you reasons for it. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my commandments. Kept my commandments. My statutes and my laws. That's basically very simple. You want to be part of God's people and you want to incur some kind of respect from God. Very simple formula. Obey his commandments. Obey his voice. Have faith. Okay? All of those things. That was Genesis 26. Let's go to 28. Let's see what we have there. We go to 28. We're going to go to 28, 13, and 15. So, right here. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land where thou liest, to thee will I give, and to thy seed. So it's just a promise. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, to the east, and to the north, and to the south, and in thee, and in thy seed, not seed, that's Jesus, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. All the families of the earth be blessed. What about only the Israelites? That all the families blessed? Didn't say they're going to be saved. Blessed. Okay, so that right there is 13:15. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in places where thou goest, and will bring thee again to this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken. So he's going to keep that promise. If he says that, he can't go back on that. All right? So that was it. The next video here will deal with respect, because there is something in Genesis right from the beginning which can be argued has to do with respect. And that's what Cain and Abel. But that'll be another video, and you're going to find out that that's very similar to this one here. And where God is consistent, he basically is your actions. If you look at the word respect, could be regard, could be bias. There's many different contexts that can be applied. Okay? So if you want to know, watch the next video. That's going to be on respect. And it's going to discuss Abel and Cain and how God had respect for one